Hey, what's going on? Jeff Ratcliffe here. And you know, at Pro Football Focus, we love stats, and we especially love stats for fantasy football purposes as well. And you know, touchdowns are valuable. Of course you know that. But how do you score touchdowns in the NFL? Well, typically the closer you are to the end zone, the easier it is. Not that it's ever easy to score a touchdown, but the easier it is. So of course, we're talking about the red zone. You've heard the red zone so many times before. But you know, I don't really care that much about the red zone in terms of running back carries. And let me explain before you go giving us negative comments. What I mean is, I don't care if the running back gets a carry at the 19-yard line. Technically, is that a red zone carry? Yes, it is. It's a red zone carry. But it's so hard to score a touchdown from the 19-yard line. What I really want are goal line carries. And really for me, I could extend it. It's not just when you're right on the goal line. It's anywhere from inside the 5-yard line to the goal line, right? Carries in that range have the highest chance of scoring for fantasy purposes. That's exactly what we want. We want the guys who are gonna touch the ball the most in the goal line situation. So last year, who were the highest in this regard? At the top, it should not surprise you to see Todd Gurley's name right there. A massive 22 carries inside the 5-yard line. Huge number for Gurley, and almost all of his rushing touchdowns, all but one rushing touchdown, came on these carries. It just shows you this is how important this stuff is. After Gurley, some surprise names, right? Carlos Hyde, Jonathan Stewart, very interesting. I'll talk about those guys in a second. Beyond that, Mark Ingram coming off that breakout year, massive for touchdown production, massive for fantasy. Devontae Freeman, always heavily used in this area. Melvin Gordon. You know, Melvin Gordon, maybe not the sexiest fantasy name, but he touches the ball a ton, and he touches the ball in the right area of the field here with 14 carries inside the 5. Latavius Murray, of course, with Dalvin Cook banged up. Ezekiel Elliott. He did this, he's number 8 on the list, and he missed 6 games last year. Leonard Fournette, LaShawn McCoy rounding out the list. But when we think about it this year, okay, let's talk about Carlos Hyde and Jonathan Stewart. Carlos Hyde now in Cleveland, it's a different offense. He's gonna be battling with Nick Chubb for carries. He could take a hit in this department, so I would not expect to see him at the top of the list next year. Jonathan Stewart, I mean, Saquon Barkley could be at the top of this list next year for sure, not Jonathan Stewart with the Giants. Gurley, Le'Veon Bell, Melvin Gordon, these are guys who are always going to touch the ball a lot. And notice, Le'Veon Bell is not on this list. You know, that's one of the areas where he tends to struggle a little bit, or he doesn't necessarily compare to Gurley. If you're debating the top 2 this year, Gurley's touchdown production was higher last year, and this is part of the reason why. But Melvin Gordon, I expect him to be on this list again. Of course, if you had to say, if it wasn't Gurley, who's going to lead this specific stat next year, this time next year, if we look back at the 2018 season, who am I placing my chips on? I got to go with Ezekiel Elliott. If it's not Todd Gurley, Ezekiel Elliott, like I said, missed 6 games, but so heavily used. We expect the Cowboys to be run heavy this year. He could lead the league in carries. He could certainly lead the league in carries inside the 5. And if you want a little dark horse, how about Leonard Fournette? It's a run-heavy team. He's another player who's going to touch the ball a ton. And we know when the Jags get down close to the goal line, Fournette is going to get his. Who do you think leads running backs in carries inside the 5, goal line carries? Why don't you tell us below in the comments? And of course, subscribe for more fantasy videos. And if you want more of these unique signature stats, go check them out at ProFootballFocus.com.